I'm talking to you YouTubers first. This is our first 360 YouTube, whatever, fantasy football, Fool's Gold, 2015. Draft day is
Draft
today.
day. Been waiting for this
Draft day
moment.
is today. So, how you guys feeling? Let's open it up. I'm Alejandro Luna, a freaking Niners rule, Fool's Gold. To my right is JJ.
JJ, aka Beast Mode,
Beast Mode,
one-time champion.
one-time champion. To my left.
To my left, it's Gabe the Babe. No, I'm just kidding.
Gabe the Babe.
No.
69.
69. Hey, I gotta make it interesting. No.
That's his new
Gabe,
name. Gabe the Babe.
No.
You heard it from
Gabe
the
the
first
Babe.
podcast tonight.
No, my name, my original one is gonna be El Rey again. So
El Rey,
I'm already back.
Going back.
It's different. It's different now. My mentality is when the first 2 years.
Go into
So-
that. What do you mean? Like,
Well,
have you been lost the last couple
No,
years?
no, no.
What's going on here?
I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare as much.
You saw the light? What's going on?
No, the last 2-3 years I didn't prepare that as well as I wanted to.
Let's catch the people up. What place did you end up last year, Gabe? So that they know what you're talking about.
I ended up in last place.
Last place.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
Last
why
place.
you had to go searching. That's good.
You had to go soul searching.
Yeah. So and JJ, you're 3 years removed from the champ.
This year, yes.
It's been 3
Gonna be
years.
2 years plus this year.
This
so
year, so.
I think it's only gonna be 2 years.
All right. For me, I haven't won anything since the first one, and the last 3-4 years have not been good.
And a lot of
Actually,
people-
last year was all right. I made it to the playoffs. It was good.
Oh, that was a good
But,
run.
Yeah, it was a good run. Made a good push. Trades were huge last year.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, they were good.
But
They were good.
like we discussed earlier, we're here to talk about this year. So first conversation is, how'd you guys prepare for this? Gabe, let's start it off.
Like this year, this is why it's different this year. I started doing it like in the first year that we started playing, and the second year, I started looking into it more like looking more into like a little bit of TV, listening to a lot of podcasts, different, probably like 7 or 10 different podcasts, just to see. Obviously we know who the high picks are, like 1 through 30, 1 through 40. We know that's like a common sense given. I was looking more like deep sleepers, more like who do I believe is going to do good and who do I like. And in the past 2 years, I didn't do that. The past 2 years, I was going by, ESPN said, oh, this, and I was going by what. Now it's what I feel and who I like. So that's the first year when I believe you beat me the first year we played, but I'm going back to that where I'm gonna just pick the ones I like.
You had a run for a couple of years.
No, that's what I'm saying. The first
you made
2 years,
finals.
the first 2-3 years, yes. After that, no.
Yeah. How about yourself, JJ? How have you prepared for this year's draft?
I pretty much prepare from the last game I played. Every day I breathe. I live
Grinding it
Grinding.
every day.
Well, I also watch a lot of college football, so at the same time, if you notice, a lot of the drafts that I do, my sleepers are rookie picks, are mostly receivers, if no one noticed. And last year I actually did good that year. I had one bad year where I picked about 2-3 rookies that didn't do nothing. But last year, I had a good year. I had 4 pretty much rookie picks.
How many rookies do you typically pick?
About four rookies.
4 rookies.
4 rookies a year. I
That-
usually pick.
You feel solid about all of them, or
I
usually
feel
it's
solid
just
about
like
2 of them, and
2 of
2 of
them
them are usually
taking
sleepers.
a risk.
And it's like take or miss. So
Right.
like Benjamin last year would take or miss, and he ended up being
Worked
like
out.
real shiny until he got
Right.
hurt in the end of the season. But it was good. But I'm usually always in it. Watch football. Watch a lot of preseason as well. People don't like watching that, but at the same time, if you think about it, there's a lot of new superstars in different teams this year. So they have different aspects of different playbooks. So it opens up a lot of things.
Steve Smith last year was an example of that.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he just, new team, and all of a sudden he's a beast.
And what I'm looking at too is a lot of offensive linemen. What offensive teams have best offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Well, what I've
At the same
been
time.
debating is Dallas. So last year Was it DeMarco Murray or was it that badass offensive line? Because Dallas has a badass offensive line.
I say it was both, but at the same time, like this year,
I'm saying like
they're gonna use 2 running backs. I don't think they're only gonna use one, even though one shines.
But is DeMarco Murray still gonna be able to shine in Philly? Because I mean it
Who?
was
To me,
Murray.
Murray.
That's a pretty much.
It's gutsy, right?
Yeah, it's real
because
gutsy.
Dallas
Honestly,
had
I don't want Murray.
right
Yeah.
because Dallas has an offensive line that's solid. So you go McFadden or you go they have the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Randall.
Yeah, but
Randall's 3 years.
like Gigi just said. I mean, you're
But
you're splitting.
They picked up the rookie that's been going great.
Nah, it's just Joseph Randall's been doing.
Joseph Randall, but like he said, the Eagles have 2 running backs, or actually 3 running backs. And then Dallas, you don't know what's going to happen. McFadden's going to get hurt. Chances are like 80% he's going to get hurt. Randall, you don't know if he's what he is. And then you got another one. So like DJ said, like you said, I'm not touching. I mean, my opinion and my thinking is I don't want to touch a backfield where you have like a 33% each or 50-50. I can't. I want an 80-20. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. That's my opinion.
That's a great. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking this year.
The other sleepers are going to be quarterbacks, though, because there's only 2 quarterbacks that should go the first 4 rounds.
Exactly.
It just depends on who's people thinking. But like Tony Romo, he's going to be his stock is up, I think, because of the running back, don't know what's going on. The offensive lineman is going to freaking protect for him like crazy.
I think Dallas has one of the best offensive lines.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think
Next to Seattle.
Tony Romo's probably going to be a top 5 quarterback this year.
Right, it's Seattle.
Well, Seattle
Dallas,
was
and
one of
Patriots.
Seattle's guys got hurt though. I remember one of the main guys. Was it who was it that I think they left or they traded the lineman?
The center.
Yeah.
They got rid of
Unger or something.
Yeah,
like
he went to.
So it's
to
iffy.
Saints.
I mean, Seattle's offensive line is good. I'm not saying they're not.
They picked up.
Who'd they pick up?
They traded for somebody, no?
Yeah.
Who'd they pick up?
Yeah, I don't know who they traded for.
I'm bad with names.
But I think Dallas Cowboys they do have the best offensive line. Dallas Cowboys by far. And then other than that,
I think after that, I think I have Seattle and like the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, New England
Brady
is
doesn't
good
get
too.
touched. Obviously, the big topic this year has been Tom Brady. Does he get picked up late?
He'll get picked up late. I think
I have no idea what the suspension is going to look like. It could be 2 games. It could be 1 game. I mean, the judge is going to decide this week.
I just think whoever picks him up has to pick up a decent backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Decent backup quarterback.
They have to waste the pick a little earlier than usual to get somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
That's if they want.
So you're saying Brady doesn't go till like 10th round?
Sounds about right.
8th or 10th round.
Sounds about right.
10th round. I mean, because even 8th though, you still have you have to get what?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. You could get him 8th, but then you have to pick up a average quarterback like in the 11th round.
So, right.
So that's what I'm saying. Instead of picking up a backup quarterback like in the 14th or 16th round, you have to pick him up in the 11th round. So to make sure you have a decent quarterback, because our league is we consist of a quarterback that has to be at least half decent or consistent, so we could be in the game every year or every game actually.
And who do you guys think Mike repeats?
Nah,
no way.
He had a good strategy though. He learned from last year, from the prior years, so he has a chance to have.
Let's talk about that. What kind of strategy did he take?
He went running backs late last few years, and this year he went smart and he went first 2 rounds, and he ended up getting LaBelle in like the 4th, 5th round. No one knew really that he was gonna shine, so that
he's a rookie.
That picked him up. So he got 3 top running backs in the first 4 rounds, and that's what got him though, was that knowing that he wanted another running back, and he went for Bell because he knew he was a starter, and no one knew about him, but he was a rookie. He's at 4th round and a starter. So he got lucky on that pick, but first 2 picks were running backs. So that 4th round pick, getting that running back,
I think that's been the hardest thing for me, is I haven't been able to get accustomed to that. Where like, because that's my system, right? I like doing that.
That's my system,
and a lot of people's
it's been my system
now. And it's hard to get these running backs.
Yeah.
It's hard to get these running backs.
Even this year though,
because you have to get lucky. You got to get like a Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Nobody saw coming.
Yeah.
Or
someone like T.Y. Gilden, you don't even know he's gonna do nothing. All of a sudden, he's at the Bell.
Top 15 running backs are gone by the 2nd round. Like, 2nd round passes by, the top 15 running backs are gone. So it's like,
that's true.
fuck, right? You're just there like.
And then you gotta see the average. You gotta look at PPR.
And then you get the regulars like Moon and Ruben that take fucking Rodgers, or they take Calvin Johnson, or
instead
you know, Kiko does that too. Like,
yeah, it's true.
It's the, you know, and it doesn't change.
Well, we're gonna have somebody doing that.
I think it's gonna change this year.
I think it's gonna change this year.
It took them 6 years.
But that's gonna change the league, though. That'll change the league because that might push running backs out in the first round.
First 2 rounds. Well, not first round, first 2 rounds.
Well, I mean, 10 picks, 10 running backs.
Yeah, but if you think about
how deep can you go on running backs?
Yeah, but 15, 20, but I don't think there's.
You think there's 20 running backs out there?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying though. That put up decent numbers. You're gonna have if you think about it, if you see all these running backs going, you're gonna think someone else is gonna pick another running back that's average that you're gonna need to fill your roster.
Yeah,
you know.
I remember last year I was adding like third backs. You know, just in case someone got hurt.
I traded for one because it hurt me doing that too. Well, I went one because McCoy and McCoy was average because of a freaking his system.
But what do you guys think? Like, say, no, obviously not who you're gonna pick, but do you think the number 1, say you're high, as opposed to number 10, the strategy is the same or is it different? What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? So you get the number 1 pick,
I think it's different.
as opposed to it is. But see, that's what I'm saying. Because there's only, my opinion, there's only 4 top tier 1 running backs, like 4 or 5. After that, the running backs aren't. I mean, to me,
they're very thin.
To me, it's thin, but I could be wrong. But I just think there's like 4 or 5 that are like top tier. The rest of them, I mean, you're gonna flip a coin to see, you know, which ones are gonna be stacked. So, but it is what it is, you know.
I think our draft is always people get manipulated too. Like we'll get 4 running backs taken, then we'll get 2 receivers, and everyone starts panicking like, oh shit. What about the receivers? Then someone's gonna pick quarterback now. And then they go quarterback, and all of a sudden we go receiver, and then there's all these running backs right there in the middle. That usually happens, and all of a sudden I get two running backs in the second, third round. They're like top 5, you know, because everyone's like, oh shit, all the receivers taken, and all of a sudden, you know, we're left with 3 running backs that are badass, and you know, and there's a lot of more sleeper receivers than there are sleeper running backs.
I think that has everything to do with the fact that that we're all here, that it's live, that you hear that guy talking, and you're like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And like, it changes everything. You come in here with a strategy, and then next thing you know, like you said, like
defense picks 4th round, and like,
fourth round defensive player, like what the fuck?
Throws everything out.
I gotta pick my defensive player.
Timeout. There's no timeout.
And that's the tricky part. That's my mentality coming in here. Is I didn't want to do the whole team thing, right? I didn't want to fall in love with anybody. I didn't want to. I want to come in here. I want to come in here like just clean minded, you know, like because he was talking. Because I started laughing when I saw him with all the San Francisco gear. You know, I'm a San Francisco fan, so. And I thought about it. I was like, if I'm gonna show my San Francisco hat, I was like, nah. You know what? I gotta leave that shit at the door. I'm gonna exit this house. It's clean minded. It's about picking the best players possible. And you know, it's.
You don't need to worry about that because I don't even think you picked your 1 Niner this year.
I know. What is that?
Now you know how I feel all these years. Now the Raiders are relevant. Now I feel good. I feel the same way.
I mean, first of all,
you got
the only way you're relevant is you have to do something first.
Carlos Hyde. We are gonna do something.
So once you guys start doing
actually, that's a good topic. You brought up a good topic because you're saying, and they do. I'm not gonna deny they do have it, but the key is. They got a high pick, which is Amari Cooper. He's a rookie wide receiver. However, Murray is a running back. Do you feel that tandem or those two with the quarterback they have, are they going to be... What do you think they're going to do like in fantasy, honestly? What do you think? Because you're a Raider fan.
I'm not going to be biased because the offensive line is very improved.
Okay.
Especially adding Hudson from the Chiefs. He's probably top 2, top 3 center in the NFL.
Right.
And he's looking really good. And we also picked up another Jackson. We got him last year in the draft, the 3rd round. He's becoming a beast.
Right.
So we have one on one left side and on the right side. And we got Penn that we were gonna sign that extension with. Our offensive line looks better than it's ever had. Okay. Only reason it started last year, but the thing is that the difference was that.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
The difference is that we got a running back now. Before we had people that were hurt all the time that didn't even care about anything.
Right,
and now we have a running back that's fresh, young, and ready to go.
Well, you know what? This is how I see it. You guys have a great. Amari Cooper is going to do really good. But like I told Alex, rookies are hit or miss. They're either busts or they're gonna you know what I mean. That's why Murray is a great pick. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna get him or I'm not gonna get him, but my opinion is, because he got hurt last year. Remember, Murray. He did. He's not proven. That's my point. He's not a proven player, but I think they're gonna do really good. That's my opinion. And hey, I'm a Niner fan. But I think the Raiders have a good. They do. But this is the thing. This is the reason why I think Amari Cooper's going to do good. Because I think Raiders are going to be behind. And nothing against. He's going to have to pass a lot.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Carr. And he's going to pass to all the receivers. They got Michael Crabtree now. Now, those are good receivers. That's what I'm saying. They're going to get some good.
And we got good tight ends.
Here's my thing. My one thing with that is. This is Carr's sophomore year, and
yes,
numbers don't lie. You're gonna struggle your sophomore year because everybody has tape on you. Because whatever, everybody's gonna come after you because he had a good rookie year. So teams learn from that, and I think one of the biggest things is gonna be that.
But you know what? Yeah,
I think that's gonna be my thing is David Carr.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. How good is he gonna do, and can the Raider fans hold up to that, right? Because he's gonna struggle.
He is.
It's natural, and so if they let him progress, he could get good at the end of the year. Maybe he sneak some wins in.
They will. They will.
But
they will. But more than anything,
they don't have a back. They don't have outside fire weapons. And I don't fantasy wise, I don't know if the numbers, unless Carr proves us wrong, and he does something special.
He will.
My thing is that next year, if they let him grow, next year is when they start tearing shit up.
Yeah, I believe so too.
But this year it's all but next year is connected to this year, and they gotta let him grow. They gotta make him mistakes.
It's ups and downs.
They gotta let him adjust, defense adjusted to him.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where the Niners are at. Everybody's like, oh, fuck. But I think that's where the Niners are at is all right, so the NFL had finally adjusted last year to Kaepernick. It took him a while because he had a good, that first half season that he played. Then he came back the next year and he did great. And, it was the NFL didn't adjust. Then last year they finally adjusted him.
Yeah, they did. They
he wasn't able to do shit.
They stopped him.
So now it's all right, did he adjust? Did he grow? We're gonna see. And that's where the numbers are skewed.
Well, it's all the system too because they should have ran the ball a lot more last year to Frank Gore.
Yeah, they should have.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where Kaepernick needs to adjust. That's a quarterback adjustment.
Well, he's gonna have to adjust.
If you know the defense is stacked against you, you need to be able to check down.
Yeah. But you know what? I like where the Niners are at. I like it because everybody's predicting that they're not gonna do good at all. Because their defense is not going to be good.
And that's why there's a couple quarterbacks out there. I'm pretty sure we all have them in mind, who are coming off the sophomore year, right? Yeah. They did fairly decent sophomore year.
They did.
And then it's fuck, they could tear shit up this year.
Yeah, they could be RG3 or they could be Andrew Luck.
Yeah, so it's
that's
there's a couple quarterbacks out there. They're right there. It sucks that we can't talk about them. We'll talk about them later. But we all have
post draft podcast.
we all have drafts to worry about. I want to
Yeah. Hey, what do you have going on right there?
Hey.
Not taking notes already?
Yeah, I'm who was that again?
But you know what? Not going back to the picks. I'm making it fun now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why I came before. No, watch this. No, listen. No, check this out because Alex just said right now something key. He said, I don't want to wear this. I want to come clean. I want to have fun. I want to come in knowing what I'm doing, but have fun. Because he's coming in it's all business. I'm going to go, and that's great. That's his thing. My thing is coming in business, but
money
having fun.
Money ain't a thing, but everything to me, dog.
No, but see my point? Before it wasn't like that for me. It was I'm coming out oh God, kind of stressing a little bit. Now, not no more. You know what? Like I said, I'm open-minded now. Let it all.
Let
Let it all.
You need to stop smoking that herb, dog.
Let it all. So.
Oh, you be smoking this shit.
No. But this is gonna be a good year, man. We're all gonna do really good. I believe us three are gonna do really good this year. That's my opinion.
I have one pick that I'm not sure on. It's the CJ Anderson. That is a sleeper. It could be a bust in the first, second round, or it could be a great pick. What do you guys think?
Oh, see, you know what? That's a good thing to bring up, like, because we don't know. Obviously, we don't know who we're gonna get. Or
Yeah.
In my opinion, on CJ Anderson, this is just my opinion.
I'm 50-50 on him.
Me too, because you don't know they have that other running backs behind him, and with Peyton Manning and the offensive line isn't that good. It's the numbers are there.
They did pick up Mathis.
Yeah, but they're not.
Like,
I mean,
I think the hardest thing with them is that one of those running backs is going to go off.
Yeah.
which one is it?
Because it's Peyton.
But that's the thing. Which one is it though?
Because it's Peyton, yeah. So it's
Because if CJ Anderson gets hurt second week, Hillman tears it up for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He has a spot.
Yeah.
Hillman takes over.
And if he gets hurt, then Monte Ball will come.
Exactly.
But see, it's just like the same thing we're talking about.
But Denver's that tough
well, it
team.
could be 80-20. That's what I'm saying.
Denver to me is
Anderson.
that tough team. There's no way you could know because their offensive line is not great.
Yeah.
But because of Peyton, one of those running backs is gonna do something because they're gonna get a lot of receptions. They're gonna get a lot of like screen stuff, a lot of quick stuff, and which fantasy wise is like that's fucking lovely, right? But as CJ Anderson is, it's a good, and that's what we're talking about. Running backs, like he's gonna go in the top
20 for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's second round.
Exactly. That's
so if you're 50-50 on a guy like that, it's
yeah, exactly. Fuck. That's why it's the topic.
Now a lot of guys though, and you know who capitalizes on these a lot is like Frankie and Mike. Mike did last year. Was a lot of guys fall through the cracks because next thing you know it's third round.
Yeah.
And you want to pick up your quarterback or your receiver or like a top
and they have a
person
pick right after him.
And they have a pick right after him, and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go for that one guy," which I think is cool. Cause I think that's what happened last year. Was that opened up the trades, and it helped. I know it helped me out. I was able to help me out. Was being able to make those trades.
Yeah, I had a couple trades. It didn't really help me out too much.
How do you guys feel about going into this season, though? Are the trades going to continue? Last year we went crazy on trades.
I think they are.
A lot of changes.
I think they are.
A couple guys fell off, fucked them over. Some guys, me helped me sneak into the playoffs. It was craziness last year. There were a lot of ballsy moves.
When it happens, people always complain, but at the same time, if you think about it, a lot of the moves were good last year.
They were good moves.
There wasn't a lot of they were like.
Well, Gabriel here tried to sneak in some crazy ass ones.
Yeah, well, one of them was
shut him down.
Yeah, you shut it down.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
That's why we have you, though. That's why we have a commission.
That's why we have
a commission. Unless we have a commission, everyone rules against him. But we had that first 2 years, and that didn't really work because we had no trades.
No trades.
Yeah. But you know what?
To me, trades
I like that though.
I like trades. Awesome. Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're gonna.
You were still able to make some trades. I think you made 3 trades last year.
I made about 3 trades. But this is the thing I like. The way it is where you're coming in like Hitler and you're like taking everybody. No. I'm being honest. This is the truth. You're like Hitler or Pablo Escobar where you come in and you say, no. And you cut it off. And that's good. We need somebody with the iron fist. Because if you have someone like, nah, it's cool. Then that's like, nah.
If you got one like easy money,
like, no. Okay. It can't be like that. It has to be, the way you're doing it, the way you're doing it is great. I like it because you're not being like, oh, because that guy is my whatever. That no, you're being fair to everybody.
Well, the general rule of thumb is that I'm gonna allow every trade to go through, like that's. And I look at all of them, and if it's like whatever, if I look at it, and I'm like whatever, then it's going through. Now, if I look at it and I have to be like, oh hell no, like what? Then that's when I start making calls, start putting in texts like, hey, why are you making this trade? Like, is there a purpose behind it? Because here's my thing where it gets kind of iffy and ballsy is that like for example I was involved in I think it almost became a 4-way trade, but it was like a 3-way trade thing. Where like, all right, I'm gonna pick this guy up only because this guy wants it and because I want his player, but this guy wants my player, so I'm gonna like do this trade so I can get this trade going.
Mm-hmm.
So as a commish, it's hard because I'm also playing against these guys, but at the same time, like if something like that's going on, like you gotta kind of let it go through, but it gets tricky because you don't know who's playing whose side.
So how many vetoes? So how many votes? No, I just want to make sure.
Well,
how many votes is it?
Before you start that topic, his topic is that if you think about it, that's why we have waiver rights. So you could pick up anybody and trade them because you have the waiver right. If you pick them up before anybody, then you can use them as trade bait as much as you want. Yeah. That's the reason why we have that.
And that's what I went up last year.
We didn't, yeah, but if we didn't, then it would be different.
Because and I know other trades went down like that because I'm pretty sure there was a trade. There was a trade where like
you just picked them up.
Yeah, one trade went through like instantly, and then boom, the next day it was like that guy's being traded over here, and I was like, oh shit, like it was, it's cool, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody's starting to understand the fears kind of sliding through, where it's like, and I think a lot of that had to do with Mike's dominance. His team just after week 4 was just so
well. He kind of
strong.
fell off in the end. He lost like 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
we ended up. It was almost like a three-way.
Yeah, in the playoffs, his team kind of like took a step back. That's right.
No, it was right before because it ended up being like a 3-4-way tie for first place. Something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought he was dominant throughout.
He lost like he got like 3 losses.
Oh shit.
So I think it was him and.
You gotta do your research, commission.
I don't know. So I'm asking why have you guys here? What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought he was dominant.
No,
do you remember that?
Green Machine.
No, he did.
Green Machine was like right there with him.
Yeah. Well, he did. The last couple weeks he did lose, and then they caught up to him. And then you're right. There was a tie or something.
Yeah, because I was tied with them, and then I lost to I think it was you by 1 point. That made me go down all the way to 4th place instead of being in first place.
Oh man!
By 1 point, my last 2 weeks,
you lost to him.
1 point.
So I snuck in the playoffs, dog, and I took some big guys out. I took I think I took out. I might have taken out Green Machine. I took somebody out, or like at the top, where I thought I wasn't gonna go in the playoffs, but I finally snuck in. My draft's been horrible, man. Last few years, been plagued with injuries.
You gotta change everything, man. Don't throw everything out there.
Well, like that's the thing, though. It's
clean
like
slate. You can't predict. You can't predict injuries, or you can't predict somebody beating up a little kid and taking out your number 1 pick when you pick number 2 or 3.
Still sour about picking.
No, it's not sour. It's just no. It's not sour. It's just you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Like, I mean, but if you draft well, that shouldn't hurt you.
You believe that?
Yes.
I think luck has a lot to do with it.
I think luck
has a lot to do with it.
But I know strategy. You're right. Strategy. I know what you're saying. Like say RBRB or whatever. Like your strategy. But what we're saying is we don't know. You could pick those 2 big running backs. One of them could get hurt, and one could be like done like for whatever violation or heads or I don't know whatever it is. We don't. Nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows.
But if you hit those guys and they're consistent. And they're consistent, and they don't get hurt.
That's what when you're talking about like, oh, Mike learned and this and that, and he's coming.
But it's also luck,
and he's gonna come in and all that. I'm like, I'm thinking he could do the same exact thing he did last year, and because our guys don't get hurt and his guys do, like he's done.
Yeah, that is true.
It's just like. That's why you.
That's when the trades come in though,
so
because if you lose a 1st round pick like you did, you have a receiver that's tearing it up, and you have 3-4 other average receivers. You're gonna get rid of either your top receiver to get a top running back, or you're gonna get 2 average receivers that are doing well for a top running back.
And you know what? I did mess up because Adrian, somebody offered me, I believe, a trade, or I sent. Who wants? Like this is when they don't know how long he's gonna be suspended for. Like I don't know if it was like that 2nd week, and then somebody told me just trade him, man. I'm like I don't know. It could only be 2 to 3 weeks. Then I got screwed after like when they said he's done. I was like, I should have traded him on the 2nd or 3rd week when it was. If you know how they're saying we don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
I should have just done it for a low end guy or a middle guy, but I didn't. It's my ego. And it's true. I didn't want to let go of my number 1. I wanted too much.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. Yeah. So I messed up. It's my fault. Like I said, it's my fault.
It has a luck of the draw too,
Yeah. Yeah.
No one knew his baby mama's boyfriend was gonna rat him out.
I mean, I traded fucking what's his name for Breeze,
Yeah,
Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
and he got hurt. Like
Yeah, it was pretty much all
fucking
season.
2 weeks later. It's like
Yeah.
crazy, you know. And he had been tearing it up for me. So I was like I needed a quarterback, and I went for it. And that shit went
Yeah,
through.
paid
I was
off.
like, fuck. Because and then I traded it to Nando, who had like 2 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, or whatever. He was doing good.
That's why he does. No, he was bad. Then I ended up helping him out.
You helped him out. I
Suffering.
remember that. Yeah.
No, I didn't help him out. I didn't
No?
give him anybody. Nah, you did, and then someone else gave him. Moon.
Oh yeah, he got Justin for. No, it was a
He had
Justin
Justin
Forsett for.
but that's when he was doing like whatever. He
For
traded him
who?
to someone else for Charles.
Jamal Charles. You're right.
Charles got hurt like the first
Charles.
2 weeks.
Yeah, Jamal Charles, and
then
everybody
Charles-
didn't like that.
That's
Then-
right.
Everybody didn't like
he
that
started-
trade.
That
was
Remember,
a
we were
horrible
like,
trade.
It was a horrible trade. Even though
Wait,
Forsett ended up being good.
Who traded? Who
but
traded
Charles-
who? Wait,
I had to let it go just because Charles
wait,
hadn't
who
done
had
anything.
who had who? I'm just trying to remember.
Moon had Charles.
And then who? The other guy had Forsett.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forsett, he gave him someone else decent too. I can't remember.
So
Tate,
at the
Golden
end,
Tate, or-
at the end,
I
who
don't know.
got
No,
more
yeah,
points?
Golden Tate.
At the end, who got more fantasy points?
I mean, off the
Well, if you
top
think
of my
about
head,
it-
probably Charles, but
Charles, because he only ended up just playing Forsett. The other dude was just like a mediocre dude.
at the time though, it was like Charles hadn't played. You don't know how he's gonna do.
But still, he
And then
hasn't
he had
even
2
played
like
yet.
he had like 2 decent guys. I mean, yeah, but that's the owner's.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's
Well,
gonna
exactly.
do it,
he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
well, that's on him. You know,
Yeah.
like
I probably cost him championship though.
one more thing. All right, I got one. Is how many times does Moon repeat?
What do you
Okay.
mean?
Repeat last place.
Repeat a pick. No, repeat a
Oh,
pick.
repeat a pick.
I think last year he was up to 4.
Should we do like $1? No, a quarter for every time. Throw it in a jar.
All right, so it's
I think he
plus
repeated,
4 or under 4.
Yeah,
That would
plus
be a
4
good
under
one.
4.
I
for
say
Moon.
I say under 4.
I say
Under 4.
plus 4.
Plus 4 under 4.
I say under 4. Yeah.
He's my brother. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say under 4.
You see?
I'm just saying because
He's a fucking.
He has a soft heart. He has a soft heart.
you know, he's busy. He's having a baby on the way. Something he's not even.
He wasn't
thinking.
having a
He's gonna be
baby.
like,
He
He
wasn't
just got
having a
his
baby
house.
last year.
He just got his house,
That's
baby
true.
under
Last
the
year
hood.
he was fine.
That's why I said- I'm
He got
saying-
a promotion and everything.
That's why I'm saying he's under. It's gonna be under, but it's gonna be close.
And he repeated like he thinks
Push.
said Aaron Rodgers.
It's a push. It's a push.
Aaron Rodgers in the 4th round.
And yeah, I was like, what?
No, this is a big question.
I'll
Do you-
keep a tally. I don't know.
No,
We'll
this is
see.
a big question. Do you think he already told me something? But do you think there's going to be someone picking a quarterback in the 1st round?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right. That's all I
One
want
for
to know.
sure. I'm
Okay.
thinking 2.
Okay.
Moon's probably gonna get. Aaron
I don't know
Rodgers
about
first
for
round.
2. Aaron Rodgers is just. It's a tough one to say no to if you have the 8th pick, right? Or anything above like the 6th.
Yeah,
if you just saw the top
Maybe.
5.
My strategy.
Maybe.
has me not
Right,
going
but you see the 5 top running backs go.
that is true.
You were iffy about receivers. You might not like some receivers.
Maybe.
You see Aaron Rodgers up there.
Well, you like Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck after Nelson now? No.
Yeah, but I don't know if Andrew Luck has deserved the because to me that's like that's a gut pick, right? Like that's something that you have in your strategy, but like it's the 8th pick and you see Aaron Rodgers on the table.